So I was riding along in my automobile, no particular place to go, and then bam, my wipers quit. Did I forget to mention it was raining? Okay. So here's your infamous wiper problems on a Chevy truck. It is in this box right here. And everybody always replaces either the entire module or the circuit board. And this is something you can fix yourself, and it's pretty easy. The first thing you need is a T20 torque tip style screwdriver. So get you one of these mystery boxes of gadgets and start poking through them till you find one. And a T20 is the one you need. And you're going to take this cover off, and we'll take this cover off, and I'll show you exactly what's in here. Okay, so I got the cover off. And you're going to see a circuit board here, and this circuit board just pulls out like this. Don't mind that red goop, it doesn't mean anything bad. But we'll take this into the workbench and we'll tell you what goes wrong with this board here in a little bit. And there's actually two things. One thing I'll mention while I'm out here, and the second thing we'll show you on the workbench. But these little contacts down here, they connect to the back side of this board right here, and you need to make sure those are clean. And you might want to put a little bit of grease on them so that they don't rust up or corrode. And that's a pretty important connection, and that fails routinely on these trucks. So let me go in the workbench and we'll pull the camera out again. We'll show you exactly what fails and how to fix these things. Okay, we're in here on the workbench, and this is the board that we just pulled. The red goop is just a type of sealer. I don't know why this particular board seems like it was just half dipped. Maybe they only seal half of them from the factory. I don't know. That might be the problem side. But anyhow, just a sealer. It keeps things kind of waterproof so that moisture doesn't tear this board up. So we went over the first problem, and the first problem is these little contacts on the board and the receiving contacts out there on the truck need to be clean. If these are clean, and you might put a little grease on them to keep them from corroding, that's the first problem. The second problem, and actually I should say there's really three problems. There's one big problem, two minor problems. I consider this a minor problem, and this is a minor problem too. These are brush contacts that also need to be greased and cleaned. In fact, the manufacturer puts a little grease on them, and that's the manufacturer's grease. And that keeps it from corroding as well, helps it make good contact. But the major problem that everybody seems to overlook on these is this plug, where my fingers are, and the actual wires that hang on this are so heavy that what they end up doing is they end up breaking the connection from the solder joint and the actual circuit board itself. And they usually just crack right around where the solder was soldered on. And you normally can't even see it. But what you need to do is take a soldering gun, or maybe even a soldering iron if you got a big enough one, because it's going to take a lot of heat. These are pretty big pads. But remelt this solder down, each one of these 5. And just as a precaution, I always go back and heat these up as well, because these sometimes break also. Just heat them up and solidify them, and it'll be ready to go. So we'll do that, and we'll show you how that's done. So I'm just going to take my Weller soldering gun here, and we're going to reach in and remelt these pads, and we'll be done very quickly. So I'm going to reach in here and remelt this pad, and see how we liquefied it. It's done. We'll do this one. That one's done. We'll do this one. Done. Same thing with this one. And you might want to add a little more solder to it. But typically, a quick melt like this, these are pretty big. These take a while to melt. There we go. Okay. Do the same with this one. And this board will work just fine. That's really all you got to do. And like I said, you might want to add a little more solder to the pads. I think this one has enough on it. I've actually done this to this particular board a while back. But this truck is fixed, and the wipers will no longer quit. Usually what happens is they quit when it's raining, because these pads are making just a momentary connection, and the moisture in the air causes them to fail. So quick, easy fix, cheap, shouldn't cost you anything, and your wipers will work again. Okay, now that we put the cover back on it and we put the screws in and the plug back in, the only thing we have left is the test. So let's walk around, turn the wipers on. Hey, 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 we have action. Splish, splash, I was taking a bath. Yes, I probably should not quit my day job. Thanks, guys.